Hey everyone, welcome to the live show again. We're back with our live show for the day. I'm a little bit earlier today because there seems to be a lot of people going on about a news event. They're talking about the CPI. Now, I don't trade the news, but I thought we'd come in a little bit earlier today and we'll just have a look at what everyone's going on about. We'll see how it goes and we'll see what happens. Yes, my gold trade is still open. And yes, it's losing. That's a nasty one, eh? Wow. Okay. But stop loss is down here. We hope it'll turn around and go up. But it's all an effect of, looks like, the US dollar. And I guess the news event can affect that as well. And we'll see what happens. So, how's it, Andrew? Hope you're still here. How's it, Kokoro? Happy Thursday. Yes, happy Thursday. Norfolk, eh? Oh, I see there's a couple of people from Scotland in the group and in the members and the subs and that. And I was born there. So, yeah, that's actually quite interesting. Obviously, quite a few people from South Africa because I live here. And yeah, so let's just have a look here at the, well, that's the homepage for the funded trader next. The gold here on the funded trader next page. And we're sitting in the trade, yeah, and there's a bit of a loss on it. Let's see. The funded trader is sitting with one win, and okay, the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and the gold is both taking a bit of a knock at the moment, but we'll see if that turns around. Hey Louis, how's it going? Morning, man. So what I'm looking at here is on the gold, the reason I haven't dumped it is there is a double bottom developing here. There's also a bit of support. If I take a line through here, there is quite a bit of support. So I'd feel really bad if I got out of this trade now and it turned around and went against me. So I'd rather just wait for the stop loss and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so this is the funded account, funded trader next. If you guys wanted one of those accounts, they are in the link below. Right, so let's get back to normal. Okay, so the DAX has done well. That's actually doing something. And absolutely, for a change, we're winning on something. That's decent. Hello, Henry. How's Vienna? Wow, that's a biggie. And Charlotte, North Carolina. How's it, Stephen? At least you're not in Florida. Yo, that was a baddie. I hope all those guys are still okay and everything's going. I see it was all downgraded there and everything seems to be coming right there. So hopefully that all works out, eh? So yeah, let's see what happens now with the news events. I never ever wait for news events, but today I thought let's come in early and let's open up for the news events. You know, I've been watching a few things on YouTube. What are my expectations on gold? Here's the thing, I took the long trade on the gold a while ago, and as you can see, I'm losing. The whole problem with the gold here is it's kind of broken the structure here. It's broken out of this little flag that it was developing, this little range from its bullish pattern. That does concern me a little bit. But when I look at it, I see there is a double bottom developed here. I see there is some trend through here. So it can go either way, especially with events going on and that sort of thing. The thing is, if the markets start flying north, there's a good chance that this thing could go south. I would like to see it go. I'm expecting it to go long. You know, these things do tend to turn and go long. There's a good chance that it could break this pennant and just head on upwards, because these pennants or flags, you can call them whatever you like, but it's generally in structure. So you see the structure goes up and it falls back, and then it continues on up and it falls back. This is really kind of what happens. And I'm expecting that maybe it'll just shoot to the upside. So obviously I'm in a long trade, I'm staying in the long trade, I'm not getting out of it. If it breaks my stop loss, then the trade becomes invalid, but then I would still buy it back down here at the trend support, because there is a trend support down here which we put in on the daily chart. So that for us is a long trade. So yeah, we're holding the long at the moment, we're staying with it long, and we'll definitely see if that plays out or goes in the right direction. You know what I've been noticing a lot on YouTube is a lot of platforms that the guys are using and showing people how to trade with are extremely complicated. The guys have got such extremely complicated trading systems. I don't know how you guys get through. News usually follows the trend. I just get sucked into the drop, rise on the first move. Yeah. I just wonder how you guys manage to trade following all these guys showing you how to trade with all these complicated systems that they use. I watched one guy just out of interest and I wouldn't be able to follow it, man. I tell you what, all the terminology and all the wait for this and look at that and the stars align on the left and the stars align on the right and then you take a trade here and there's a line here and a line here and a line there. And I was looking at the chart in total amazement. I was so confused by what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how does anybody follow that stuff? So yeah, I can see why people come to my channel and try and keep it simple. Let's keep it simple, guys. Why are we getting so confusing with the trades? Man, I watched a couple of guys. And then, you know, another thing that I picked up on was this charting that you get from the funded trader accounts. For those of you guys that don't know, you know, I took the funded trader account on because a lot of guys were saying that they couldn't trade a normal system with a funded trader account. So I took one on to see how it would go and to see if we could trade it. That's why we've got it here. So just so that you know. But and the guys that know me know why I've got it here and what the funded trader account is about. But this platform, this match trader, is so simple. You know, you get C trader, which I would rather have taken actually because it is a bit more intricate and whatnot. But you don't need more. It's actually so simple. There's nothing on it. You got your time frames, you got your candles or line charts. You can put 2 or 3 charts on here if you want. So I mean, if you want 2 charts, you can put another one on there, whatever you want here. If you okay, what have I done now? Now I've gone and put 2 charts on, and I actually don't really want it there. Okay, so and then you can go smaller, bigger with it. I mean, that you can move it around. You can draw some lines and channels and whatnot on it. What they could add to this particular charting package, this match trader or whatever, is just the ability to draw a blocky in or whatever the case. That would certainly help, wouldn't it? But yeah, as funded trader accounts go, I mean, that's all they use. I think C trader and match trader. Not many of them get onto these trading view charts and things like that. How's it, Daniel? Welcome, man. See you here nice and early today. And so am I, obviously. Got in early today. Yeah, that's how we go. Have you ever noticed? The other thing I was watching is all these guys are doing scalping. They're doing scalping on YouTube, and they win every trade. Have you ever noticed that? They're like winning every single trade. And I look at it and I think, how is that possible? How are you winning every single trade? And I think it's just because they're not showing you the losing trades. You know, there's always these little videos and the guy, oh, I'm going to trade this now. And it's in a very complicated system. And he gets in there and he trades and he wins. And then he says, I won this amount of money in a matter of minutes. And then that's it. And I think to myself, don't you ever lose? Because I know when I tried scalping, man, I got my ass kicked, man. Jeez, I tell you what. I don't know. I think these guys are BSing us, to be honest with you, because I can't see how you can win every single trade, even if you're scalping. I mean, scalping more so than ever, because we all know that trading is a 50-50 game. And I mean, scalping, how can you possibly win every trade? Yeah, no, only in the movies. Yeah, you're right there. I don't know. I sit here, no, I'm just sat and I watched a couple of guys on YouTube out of interest, obviously for this channel and to see if, if I can make it better for you guys and that. No, I don't think so. These guys are crazy, man. And the complicated systems, man, the complicated systems are, I was like shocked and stunned by how complicated some of these things are that are out there. Wow, guys are overcomplicating it, man. They got all these different lines and little goodies and whatnot in the system, and gee whiz. So isn't there supposed to be a news event out now? So what's happening? Hey? Euro US dollar. Okay, let's see what you did. There you go. Yeah. Didn't I have a trade of the day on this for short? Didn't I take it short? Looks like I didn't take it short. All right. I missed that. Okay. I did call it short, if you remember. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, yeah, I called oil short this morning and I didn't take it because it hasn't confirmed yet. I was looking at that to come out of there with a bit of a red candle and it hasn't done that. So I haven't taken that trade yet. I was watching for that trade. Yeah, totally. So there doesn't seem to be much happening with the time. Yeah. No, I tell you, I spent my years following news events. I can tell you that was crazy. Wow, man, so many days waiting for non-farm payrolls and CPI and jobless claims and all the rest of it. And that just drove me insane. I honestly don't worry about it too much anymore. I just put my stop losses in place and put my take profits out there and then I trade it. For those of you guys trading Bitcoin, I'm looking at this and looks to me like it's broken to the downside. So 1 minute until the boom. I love the boom. The boom's so exciting, man. Oh, no, totally. Let's see if we can keep some profit today, eh? See what happens. Bringing reality into the world of trading are the ones that have the most complicated setups. Yeah, no, totally. I try and keep it so simple. And then I see these guys out there, man, wow, I was just watching a few and I thought, this is crazy. I was confused. And I've been trading for 30 years, guys, 30 years. And I was watching these guys and I was confused. No, I tell you what, I've used the stochastic RSI on so many occasions. It is a great product, but I gotta say, guys, it is a lagging indicator still, eh? Moving averages. Oh dear, look at this. This is not good for the DAX. Am I going to take a knock here? We'll see. We'll see. See what happens. I'm keeping the trade. I'm keeping the trade. I'm not jumping around. I don't get excited at news events. Yeah, Kokoro, you do kind of need a lot of volatility to scalp, but I mean, the guys go on such low time frames that, there's always volatility. It really doesn't matter. I could go into a low time frame on any given day here, and you'll have mega volatility. So, well, it looks like my gold trade's going in my direction. Aren't I glad that I did not sell it? Aren't I pleased that I did not sell it? Somebody said to me this morning, why are you still in gold? It's broken, it's structured, you should get out. And I said, I'm waiting for my stop loss because I see this double bottom and I see this line here, and I'd rather lose the whole stop loss than get out of the trade early and then it does this, and that would have made me feel much worse. So now, hopefully I'm going to feel much better. What do you guys think? I think it's more painful to do something silly like get out too early and then it goes the other way, and then to actually take the stop loss, because I'm expecting the stop loss, and that if I get hit by that, I'm like, okay, I paid for the trade, I'm gone. But if I make a silly move, that hurts much more psychologically. I must tell you, that really does hurt a lot more. So, gone ballistic. Yeah, well, it's moving around. It's jumping around. It seems like everyone's quite excited, and it must be the US dollar. So, which means my Aussie dollar is also doing better. Yes, it's coming back. So there we go. You see, it's still in its trend structure here. That's why I still have the Aussie dollar, US dollar in, because it's still going in this upward structure. So that's why I'm holding that. Not really, and that's why I'm holding the DAX as well, because it's staying in this big, long structure here. So yeah, we're holding on to that as well, very calmly. And this is the problem, by the way, with news events, guys. Did you see what happened now with this particular trade? For example, it was It was up a few moments ago. And of course, the brokers are very clever and they put a little amount here just to like really make it scary for you. And then you see the numbers change and you want to get out. You just leave it, guys. Just leave it. Relax. You're in the pattern. Just don't worry about it, you know. Look, news, yeah, you've got to watch out for news. So what I've learned to do, Daniel, with this funded trader account, which is this one, where are we? Funded trader account. That's the homepage. Sorry, guys. That's funded trader markets. It's funded trader markets, okay? So if you guys want that, you can pop down there. Allow me to keep it overnight. There's 50% off. There's all kinds of deals, and so you can get an account if you want to. Right, so the funded trader account, what I've learned to do on this is treat it very similar to my cash account, just with less trades. So whereas with a cash account, it can take maybe 10, 20, whatever trades, and you're risking your own account. With this, I know I'm only allowed to risk $1,000 a day. And otherwise they'll close their account, and I'm only allowed to lose $2,500 overall on this $25,000 account. So what I do is on every trade, I risk $250 on the stop loss. And then what I do with that is I say, okay, you know, then I'll put maybe 3 trades in just to keep the account safe. Yesterday I had 4, and I actually took one out, which was the Nikkei, which was in profit, because I was a bit worried about leaving it and going away from it and coming back, and they've all 4 lost. You know, you shouldn't lose all the trades. You shouldn't lose all 10 trades, but it can happen. So I can't have 10 trades here, or 6 trades, or 5 trades. But what I'm doing is sort of just putting the 3 trades in and then keeping the stop loss in a good place. Now, when you're trading 4-hour charts, you can keep a wide stop loss. So you know how we choose the stop loss, right? So what I do is I come in to take the trade, but before I decide on taking the trade, I decide where my stop loss is going to be. So my stop loss is here. And then from there, I work out how much $250 will be to the buy price. And then I'll work out if it'll be profitable, and I'll make a profit on that particular trade. And then I take the trade from there. And then this funded trader account has managed to stay alive. It's not winning, but it's managed to stay alive. So I think we can get around it. I think it is possible to win with these funded trader accounts. It's just a lot of controversy around them and what have you at the moment, a lot of stories behind them, and a lot of them have got some seriously strange rules and regulations, which even I don't understand. So I prefer a cash account, definitely. But for those of you who can't have a cash account, wonderful that they got this kind of thing. You've just got to choose a company that's not going to rip you off. And I most certainly hope that these guys are not going to rip us off. But I do think that they're okay from what I've seen, from what I've chatted to them. Funded trader markets, I mean, they've been very relaxed on the rules, very sort of like you can trade your own way, you can trade overnight and that sort of thing. So I've been quite okay with these guys, and there doesn't seem to be a time limit on what I do. Time will tell, but for the time being, I'm okay with these guys. They're doing all right. So we'll see how we go with that. We'll see how that goes. So how's the DAX trade? You see, we're back where we started earlier, pretty much $400. So here you go. See, don't jump out with the news events. Okay, DXY going down to 4-hour demand, then we'll continue the trend. But I'm thinking, well, there you go. You see, £3,000 profit yesterday, as you said on the 4-hour chart. And you probably listen to what I've been saying is I don't sit here and watch charts all day. What I'll do is I'll set these levels. I'll go out, and then I'll come back later and just check the levels, and I'll move things around to suit myself. Very often I will leave the charts running on my computers when I go away. But I've got a phone. I can look on the mobile phone and check what's going on there if I need to. And that's where MetaTrader is actually quite good. The MetaTrader 5 is you chop, done, easy, no worries. But I mean, even this funded trader thing has got like an app as well, which is also great. Oh, I see gold is, I thought it was doing better. I'm looking at the wrong price there. Okay, it's at 26.20. Well, it didn't crash, so that's holding on. The Aussie dollar, US dollar is holding on. So obviously the dollar's moving around quite a lot, doing its thing. Yeah, news come and gone. Now let's get back to normal. So that's why I thought I'd come in a little bit earlier today, guys, because everyone was going on about this news event. So obviously I was watching some stuff as well. And I thought, wow, everyone's getting really excited about it. And I remember what that felt like. I used to do that all the time. So I thought, let me come in a little bit earlier today just to see, you know, what's going to happen and what's going to go down. Because generally what happens is this is not a very big one. This was a very small one, but very often it moves vastly and then it just settles back to where it was in the first place, as Daniel said there now, and let's just carry on as per normal. So although last week, I must say last Friday, all my stops got taken out, whether they were in profit or not. It was so vast, even on the 4-hour chart, it was really vast. But what I like about the 4-hour charts, guys, is that I can keep my stops and take profits quite a distance apart. And I can just leave them and let them carry on. Because, you know, it seems like it's far away. It does seem like it's far away, and it can be very tempting to just jump out. It can be very boring, but making money is boring, guys. It's spending it that's fun. So, you know, you want to trade on the 5-minute chart so you can see some gratification rather quickly. You know, today's generation wants instant gratification. So you want that trade in and you want that trade out and you want to take that profit and you want to go. You know, if you look at a chart pattern, the chart pattern will follow that pattern, whether it's on a 4-hour chart or a 5-minute chart. It's going to follow that pattern. A whole basis of choosing your trades, you're choosing your trades based on history, based on what happened before, with the all probability that it will happen again. So that's why we have that edge, because we saw it happen before, we think it's going to happen again. For example, this trend, we're expecting that it'll bounce off here and go to the top like we want it to. Now, if you can do that on a 5-minute, but you just remember, you're making it on much smaller amounts, much smaller points, less points, let's say. So your risk is higher because you're not as clear on those lower time frames. But on the higher time frames, if you just leave it, it should eventually play out the way you want it to. But it is difficult to do that. I know people are impatient, but you see, that's why being older and having started trading before all these fancy electronic goodies and computers came out, our only way of trading was with a newspaper overnight. So we didn't have instant gratification. We had to wait for the next day. When you got used to that, then you learn how to trade. I can tell you, if you want to learn how to trade, buy the trades in the morning and then evening check the prices, and the next morning buy your trades again. You'll learn how to trade, let me tell you. Okay, so wait till that. So US markets can have their fun. Yep, the US markets, righto. And it happens every day. It happens over and over again. How's it, Elaine? Welcome back. What you will find, guys, is if you're following news events, if you stake your life on the news events, is you're going to be going nuts, because not only is there news events every single day, but there's like news events all afternoon, just non-stop, one after the other. And well, in the US, all morning, but for me, it would be all afternoon. And it drives you insane at the end of the day. It just drives you completely insane. So you see the dollar is turning around again, obviously, because gold has dropped off again, and the Aussie dollar, US dollar has dropped off again, and then obviously my DAX has dropped off a bit as well. Okay. Made $920 on the Aussie dollar, US dollar yesterday. Well done, Julian. That's fantastic. That's really, really good news. That's maybe it's my $920 because I'm losing. No, I'm long on this, guys, because it's in the structure. If it breaks to the downside, so be it. Then we know it's going the other way. But for now, we stay with that. Bryn, that's the one we were looking for. I just want to see if that's going to turn around. because if that turns around, we need to take a short trade on that. We're just waiting for a nice red candle on that on the 4-hour, and we shall take that trade. For those of you that trade the VIX, I know everyone's calling it long at the moment. Oh yes, it is. Okay, that's just news events. That's fine. Okay. CPI. Right. The VIX is, I wouldn't buy it at 20. I'd wait for it to get back down here to 15 again. So, yeah, wait for that. The VIX is normally a good one. Is this France 40? Yeah, a lot of people were calling this short. And there is a thing here that you must actually look at on the France 40. Now, under normal circumstances, I would take a long on the France 40 because it's sitting on support and it was turning around. Not right now because it's a red candle, but on the green candle, I would have quite happily have taken a long trade. But I don't know if you guys can see what I can see here. There's the left shoulder, there's the head, there's the right shoulder. If this thing breaks below here, you're looking at a serious downside. The big head and shoulders on the France 40 here. So that's why I haven't taken a long trade on the France 40, because I don't like to see pictures like that. And it's just playing around here. It hasn't done anything. It has to, for me, for this to be dead, I'd like to see the price above that high there. Then we're safe on that. Yesterday I did dump the Nikkei at about 39.4. And yeah, it's definitely come down. So I'm glad I did that. Sometimes you get lucky, eh? Sometimes you get lucky. I had to choose one trade that I wanted to dump, and that was the one. So yeah, it got dumped. There you go. Perfect. That works out sometimes. Yeah, look, Daniel, I think we're not getting cheaper petrol this month because it really went up again. I think it's going to be more expensive this time. Jason, it's a pleasure, man. I'm so glad I'm helping. And as you know, we're here for you. Any questions? Not just me, I mean the community as well. As you guys learn, you guys can correct me as well if you like. You know, you learn something every single day. You can't believe it. All the years, you learn something new every day. There's always something to learn. Today I learned that the guys on YouTube are showing the most complicated bloody systems on earth. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't believe that I was so mind-boggled watching a guy trying to show people trading, and while he's doing his trades, I think he's kind of just boasting about his trades more than anything else. And I was just looking at how he was doing it and thinking, I wouldn't be able to follow what the oak is doing. I really wouldn't. Yeah, you can buy in the morning, take profits in the afternoon, do it the next day. Or in my case, I often just leave them overnight sometimes. And I'm quite happy with that because the stop losses will take effect. It's only the weekends that concern me. I don't like leaving trades in for the weekends. Those that know me well on that. The weekends are bad news because your stop loss will not work on the weekend. But I mean, this gold trade, how long have I had it, guys? Phew, I bought it a long time ago, man. Gee whiz, couple of days, good couple of days I've had this gold trade. And it hasn't worked out for me. It was way in profit, but that's me. You know, I've got my profit set up here and it didn't go there. So I was waiting for it to break out of this pattern and go, and it didn't go. So, well, you know, I was like $600 or $700 in profit at one stage, and now I'm $400 in the red. This morning I was $500 or $600 in the red. But that's how I trade, guys. I don't rush. It comes to you. Let the trades come to you. They'll come to you. These patterns work out in the end. They always do. So, you know, you see red candles, you think, ooh, I got to get out here. You know, like I see my DAX dropping off here. It's either going to drop off and destroy me or it's going to go to profit. You know, when it gets to about this level here, then I'll start concerning myself with what's going to happen next. Take profit? No. Take my stop loss, move it up here, maybe add to the trade. Now, somebody asked me about that. I don't know if they're on here today, but somebody asked me about adding to the trade and what I meant by that. Well, what I mean by that, and there's no specific rule when I say adding to the trade. What I mean by that, if this profit goes up to, a decent nearly $1,000 in profit, I'm going to take my stop and I'm going to move it up to cost, because then my trade's free. And as it goes up, I'm going to move my stop behind it. But what I mean by adding to a trade is if I see a new trade, if I came to the chart today and I didn't have any trade on this product, and I look at it and I think, if I walked in here today, I would literally buy this. I would literally add or buy this trade. Then I will add to that trade, because then it's really looking good. And even though I own it already, I'll just be like really happy that I bought it before, and I've got some in the bag already, and I'll just add some more to the bag and let it run. That's what I mean by adding to the trade. Don't try hedging down on the negative side. For example, with gold here, a lot of people would say to me, but Rob, if you add to the gold here because it's shooting back up, wouldn't that be a good buy? Well, effectively, what I'm doing is adding to a losing trade, and because at the moment it's losing. So no, I'm not doing that. I wait until it's in profit before I'll add to the trade. In fact, I want my stop loss on 0 before I'll add to the trade. So no, we don't add to the trade when it's in a losing position where we can help it, unless we are extremely confident that that's going to work, that is definitely going to go in your favor, which normally when you do that, it doesn't. Yeah, Daniel, I think that might be the problem. That the guys that I was looking at, obviously I'm looking at the other guys sometimes just to see what do their videos look like, in comparison to, say, what I'm showing you guys, and how does it pair up to mine and that sort of thing. And just what I found was, man, it's so complicated, these guys. But most of them are just showing you how they can make a profit, or look at me, look at how I made a profit, or whatever the case. And that's what I was saying to you earlier. The scalpers they only show you winning trades. I've never seen a scalper show a losing trade. Every time they go on and they do the scalping thing and then they win. And I think to myself, I tried scalping myself once or twice, and believe me, I took a lot of losses. So I really don't know where they came with that whole thing, where you can win every single trade. Whenever they show you a trade, it's a winning trade. It's always the winning trade. And well, you look at it and think, wow, maybe I should take up scalping. I don't know. But no, it doesn't work like that. How's it, Rama? The funded account still here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Germany is winning, the gold in a loss, and the Aussie dollars in a loss. But the gold, I retook the gold at a very high level, so that's probably why it's losing at the moment. But the actual account is still down. It hasn't gone up, but it's okay. It'll come right. It is a bit slow, but I figured out how to work it now and how to make it win. And like I said to the guys earlier, what I'm doing is I'm treating it a lot like I would treat the cash account now, where but the cash account, I can take like 10 trades, whereas this you can't. So what I'm doing here is taking about 3 trades with a $250 stop loss on each one, because I can only lose 1,000, and just leaving it at that. So if you lose the 250. If you win 500, or whatever the case. And then we'll see what happens. Yesterday I had the 4 trades open here, and then I got a little bit worried about it, because I thought, oh, if you lose all 4, they're gonna close their account. So I just took one of the trades out in a profit, which was the Nikkei, which was very fortunate. But then I also sold it on the normal side as well, at about 39.4, and I see that was quite a good move. So there you go. Sometimes you win. But yeah, the funded account is still here, still going, still carrying on. It's $600 down, so it needs to grow. It really does need to grow. It needs to do something now. So I'm trying this out. I'm trying to copy over the better trades from the main account, and we'll see if it finds its feet. And I think it will. I think it will find its feet now, because I think I've figured out the best way to trade it. I was just very unsure how to trade a funded account, because I've never even thought about trading a funded account until I took this on with you guys. And okay, it's there and thereabouts, and I think it'll be okay in the long run. We'll get there. And I mean, for example, if Brent comes into play, we'll take a Brent if it comes into play. If this becomes a sell, look, it's looking long at the moment, but I would move that onto the funded account as well. But let's just see what happens. Let's just see how it goes. And for the time being, I'm not unhappy with it. It's still here, and I'm not. That's maybe the difference as well. Is I'm not really worried about whether it, it gets approved or not, or whether I'm going to make the money or not. I see many guys get into the funded accounts and they want it open today, so they risk everything and then they lose their accounts. And this one is just staying open because trying to keep it open more than anything else. But yeah, it'll do. It'll be okay. It'll come right. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's all about the profit. It's all about making a profit over time. You're not going to make your profit in 5 minutes. And that's where I see these scalping guys like promising everyone like you're going to make so much money in 6 minutes and all the rest of it, but they're not showing you how much money you're going to lose in 6 minutes, eh? Right. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Can you explain a bit further on your strategy around the area where the demand areas and supply areas are? Yeah, okay. Possible short and Brent today. So the way, Julian, should be good news for trading. 258. Yo, okay. So I see the US 500 is a little bit down, but that's the thing. You never know what people are going to think and which way things are going to go. Doug, you long on gold. Well done. So am I, as you know. Okay, so I just want to explain to Chris a little bit more about the demand areas. Let's go to the Brent, the supply. Okay. So when you're looking at a supply of money, this might not be the best example, but normally you're looking for 3 of these candles. There's only 2 here, so I may have preempted it a little bit. And then you take the little candle before it. So these 2 are red, so you take the green candle before it, you draw that out across, and then that's a supply of money. So the reason we look at that as a supply of money or orders or trades in the market is because it pushed that down so far. So there must have been a lot of money there. So the expectation is that it's going to go back, look for that money, find those orders, and then carry on its direction. In this case, it's broken through, so it's taken all the money and it's moving the other way. But for example, this one here, this is also in the resistance, but this is a nice one because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big candles going down. So there'll be a supply of money. You see the size of that candle before there. There'll be a supply of money in there. So you'll see when this price gets into there, it should shoot it back down. Another good example would be the buy side. Let me just show you this one here. Now, look at this, where it played out. So we're just going to go back a little bit here. It's easy to go back in hindsight and see what happened. But so you got 1, 2, 3 green candles there. And that's normally your best principle. Like I say, I preempted it a bit there with the 2 candles. But I also looked at your structure there. So that's probably why I went there. Now, if you look at this, you've got your 3 big green candles going out. So that means there's a demand of money in this area. So what you're expecting is for price to come back here, test it, and go. And look, it did. You see that big spike there? This is where it came all the way down, tested this, and it's gone, shot up. So it's taken the money from here. That's the demand level. So it's where all the orders line up, and you can sort of find the orders there. You can only use it once, and you can't just keep. It's not like a support or resistance where you can keep on using it. And I don't want to overcomplicate it for you guys. I don't want to make. I just use these as extras, because now you've got your support and resistance, and you're looking at this and thinking, is there another trade in here? So you just look for one or two other things, and that is a supply and demand, maybe a fair value gap if you want to. Don't have to. And maybe a trend resistance and support. That's it within the other time frame. And if you find those are usually money for you at the end of the day. So, and then also watch out for chart patterns like the head and shoulders, the double tops, the pincer tops, that sort of thing, because they kind of direct you in a way. Yeah, and it has to be an aggressive move. Thanks, Kakaris. Thanks for clarifying that. An aggressive move. So that's why I normally look for 3 candles, because that's aggressive. Good 3 candles moving out. And this looked aggressive. 2 big red candles. You'll probably find that candle was a bit lower when I looked at that. And also it's in structure. So you look at that and think, that could be an area where there's some money. But this one wasn't really that aggressive or that strong, so it might break through and go the other way. But if you get a red candle coming down, different story. And that's what you're looking for. See, in this case, it came all the way down. Look, it hit the area orders, took them, and jumped the other way. You went long on gold because it's bouncing off the upward trend line on the daily. Okay, my trend lines are a bit wider apart on the daily. News on gold, Dow Jones, COMEX gold delivery tensions break down. What? Oh, the breakdown. Okay. Okay. Fine. Just a news event. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I actually see it on the 4 hour more than anything. If I take a line here, that's a pretty good indication of a trend support on the 4 hour as well. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I stayed in the trade, is because I saw that as well. I also saw the double bottom here. That's what I was saying to you guys just now. Look for chart patterns as well. If you see these double bottoms, double tops, things like that, just keep them in your mind. Don't trade them as such. Just use them as sort of, oh, that looks like it lines up with what I'm doing, so I'm going in the right direction. That's what I use those for. I don't want to confuse it like these other guys do. Say, man, even I got confused. But if you just look at things like that, a simple trend line, a simple double bottom, double top, a simple head and shoulders, cup and handle formation, a pincer top with a candle, a hammer, these things are just there in the back of your mind. If you understand them and you learn those few things, when you're trading your normal price action, it just gives you some insight into you going the right way, and it looks good. Just be careful of confusing yourself into, or convincing yourself into not taking a trade because of things like that, because you can end up doing that a lot as well. That I found. Okay, Chris, I'm glad that helps. And then there's also, like I say, I don't use them a lot, but the fair value gaps, you can watch the video on fair value gap. If I see one that's really strong, then I will look at that. Loris, first time, welcome. Glad to see you here. Yeah, we trade the 4 hours here, so don't expect those quick 5-minute trades, but we enjoy ourselves and we teach ourselves how to trade, so that's the important thing. Look, yeah, this is something I've been doing for a long time. 30 years is a long time. I tell you what, I just look at things and they just sort of look familiar, and you kind of take a trade based on that. Experience counts for a lot here, guys. So a lot of people think they can get into trading and they're going to learn this thing in one day, and in a week they're going to make millions, and it's not going to happen. And like I said, these scalpers are trying to promote that you can make this in 6 minutes, and they never seem to lose a damn trade, man. Crazy. We stream on Tuesdays on the European session, and on Thursdays on the USA session, which is now later in the afternoon. And I came in actually a little bit earlier today because there was the CPI event and that sort of thing. But like I've said quite a few times, I don't trade the news. I just wanted to sort of show a point that when news happens, it doesn't move the world. It doesn't change the world. It sort of shoots one way or the other, and it just settles down and comes back to normal again. We trade what we see. And it's good to have you on board. Hope you subscribed. But yeah, though, those are the guys that know me know that I started this channel to give you guys more truths, more reality. And, I thought I was going to make one video, maybe two. And now it's become a channel with hundreds of videos, live streams, me talking to you guys, and I'm enjoying it. It's really great. It's fun. I used to love teaching my friends and that sort of thing. And now here I am on YouTube doing this. I love it. I love it to bits. It's great. As I said, making money can be boring. So adding the YouTube to it kind of makes it exciting. So it gives me something extra to do and to keep me busy. And it's good for me. It keeps me out of trouble. It does keep me out of trouble. It really does. You know what? Here's the thing. The ES is effectively the US 500. And I love trading the US 500. Let's be honest. I love trading the US 500 because the US 500 is such a good mover. And there was a stage where I literally only traded the US 500, and it was just going north, and it was just making me so much money back then. That was quite a while ago, before it crashed the last time. But at the moment, I'm sort of looking at it and saying, are we going to rush for 6,000, the round figure? Are we going to pull back? There's not much to trade here at the moment. It's a little bit, it's sort of sitting in its range and sitting at the moment. But no, the US 500 is not difficult to trade. That's a fun one, and the ES is pretty much the same. But the NASDAQ, on the other hand, the NASDAQ, the Tech 100, as they call it, in many areas. This is a different ballgame, guys, because here you are only trading with the technical products like NVIDIA and technical companies and that sort of thing. Tech companies, let's put it that way. So it's like the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is mostly banks and financial companies and others, okay? Then you've got the Russell, and then you've got the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is a pretty volatile product. And if you're new to trading, the NASDAQ can probably kick your butt. But it's a great product to trade. It's got volatility. It moves up and down. There's nothing wrong with trading it. But what I would recommend to someone is don't trade the US 500 or the ES and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones at the same time, because it's pretty much the US 500 is made up of much of the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones products, and the Russell products and a whole bunch of other products are in the US 500. The US 500 is the US 500. So there's no point in really trading the NASDAQ and the US 500 together. So now you're talking about trading the ES and the NASDAQ at the same time. Is there any point to that? So choose the one that you feel more comfortable with. Some people just love trading the Tech 100, and some people just love trading the S&P. It's up to you at the end of the day. I would prefer trading the US 500 or the S&P or the ES because it has more in it. But if the Nasdaq or the Tech 100 is showing a better trade, then I'd rather take that trade. And just opening this chart now, just so by the way, is a little bit concerning to me because I'm seeing a bit of a double top here on the 4-hour. So I hope that doesn't mean it's going to crash down today, but if it does, so be it. Yeah, interesting, because that would affect my DAX trade quite heavily. Okay, we'll see. No, Laurice, it's all good. Any questions, good. No, don't say sorry for bothering, man. You're not bothering at all. That's what we're here for. We're here to discuss what's what, dude. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about a thing. It's all here for you, so that you guys can understand what's going down and what's going to happen and how to trade. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me telling you which way markets are going to go up or down. And I'm not giving you trading advice. I'm giving you trading ideas. I'm just helping you guys to get the feel for trading in the market, so that you can understand that trading in the market is a 50-50 game, so that you can understand that there are ways and means of managing your risks, so that you can make a profit, that it's all about making a profit. It's all about your business plan at the end of the day to become profitable in the markets. And it's not about the squiggly lines. It's about behind those squiggly lines are a whole bunch of buyers and sellers and human beings. And, we think when we have a system, this is why I keep it simple, guys. We think when we have a system, the more complicated we're going to make it, the more edge we're going to have over the stock market. Stock market's been around for a long time. Let me tell you something, guys. There's a few pros out there that will shock the living daylights out of you. So don't think that you've got the edge on the market. You've never got the edge on the market. What you have is probability. And probability is all about your best possible trade. When you take the best possible trade, manage the risk, then you've got an edge. Then you've got a possibility of winning in the market. Because once you understand that when you toss a coin 10 times, 5 times it might land on heads, 5 times it might land on tails. Once you get that concept, that you just need to make more on the profits and lose less on the losses, that's when you have the edge on the market. You think you've got the edge on the market because you've got a system. When you think you've got the edge on the market because you've got some squiggly lines, that's when you're in the wrong place. You've got to get out of that mentality. You've got to get out of that mindset. It's all in the way you face the market, the way you handle it, from your mentality and from your mind, how you approach it. That's what makes you the prophet at the end of the day. The only other way to be profitable in the market is to invest. And you know what I mean by that. In other words, take money, buy stocks, and forget about them. And then keep adding to that. That'll make you money as well. That's the only other way. But to think that squiggly lines are going to make you a profit, or scalping, I still can't get over that. Every single trade that scalpers show you is a winning trade. I still can't get over that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Jed, good to have you on board, man. I'm glad you found me. And I'm pretty sure that more people will find us eventually, and we'll grow to a decent sized community together. And hopefully we'll have thousands of sensible traders in the market that understand you can't make $1 million in a day, that understand that trading is a 50-50 game, and how to approach trading and make a profit over time without panicking, without trying to make it all in one day and trying to rush it. One day, that's my target, Daniel. I want 100,000 subscribers. That's my target. Definitely. Can I put a time limit on that? No, because You know, what I also saw in the market, I was looking at the other videos and things like that, and I said to you guys that I saw these guys with these complicated platforms and these scalpers winning every single trade. But unfortunately, that's what most people want to see. Most people want to see a guy get on the channel and click a few buttons and make a huge profit in 6 minutes and say, I can make $1 million and show you a Lamborghini. And that's what people want to see. They don't want the truth. The truth is definitely not what they want to hear. And the truth of the matter is what they're showing you is just not actually possible. It's so easy to fake portfolios and Lamborghinis and show you profits on every trade and that sort of thing. But the real world isn't like that. So what we're showing you is the real world. And so I can't give you a time on that target, but I do think in the long run we will get there. And I think a lot of people will come and they will understand. And I see that we will get to those points. The 5-minute charts, the scalping, I tell you, Jed, I watch the guys every trade they win. They show you like, click, 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 look how much I won. I wonder if they will ever show you a losing trade. I mean, I think one or two guys actually do that just to like try and gain some kind of strength there. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wanna see one of those YouTube. I believe they're a lot smaller now. One of those YouTube things here behind me. That'll be. Yes, Laura's volume is important. Look, you'll see I don't use volume a lot because I used to use it, but I just don't bother with it because it's not as important to me as it should be. For one thing, don't use volume on Forex. Forget about volume on Forex. You're wasting your time using volume on Forex. Just throw it out, okay? But for the indexes and for stocks, yes, volume will help you. And the only way it's going to help you, okay, is if a price runs heavily and there's no volume and the volume's low, then it's a fake out. It's just, don't worry about it. It's not going anywhere. If the price is moving on a lot of volume, there's a lot of volume going with a price, and even if the price hasn't moved a lot, but there's a lot of volume, then it's a good one. Then it's going in that direction. It's good volume. What is volume? It's all the buyers and sellers. So, don't look at it as, oh, it's all positive volume or all negative volume. Volume is volume. If there's no volume and the price is running like crazy, then it's a bad deal. And if the price is not moving or is moving, but it's moving with loads of volume, there's a lot of volume in, it's a good deal. Simple as that, really. That's the only way to look at volume. There's no other way to really look at volume. Can I please explain my strategy? I'm going to run out of voice. Sure. We'll explain the strategy. Sleepyhead. Yep, trading 4 hours definitely done a dramatic shift in my profits. You had the answer in my trading journey the whole time. I'm so grateful for you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And if you're trading 4 hours, I think your title, Sleepyhead, perfect. You can sleep all you want with the 4 hours. The strategy, I'm going to explain the strategy to you now. Okay. You really should watch a few of the videos, but yeah, okay. I'll just explain it in short because a lot of the guys have watched me explain the strategy. Thanks, Kevin. They've watched me explain the strategy every day. Okay, how am I going to do this quickly? Okay, the strategy is this. Don't worry about the squiggly lines. We trade support and resistance. If you want to know how to trade price action, support and resistance, I've got, I don't know, maybe 200 and something videos there that will explain it to you quite clearly. How we trade up and down and that on the charts and what have you, how we look for it on the day, how we put the support in, how we put the resistance in. on the closing prices. So let's not go into detail on that right now. Yes, I do, Loris. There is a Discord channel. The link is in the description, I think. If it's not in this one, it will be in one of my normal videos, the later ones. It's there. But I've only just started the Discord for you guys so that we can chat. So I'm not that tech savvy with it, but it's there and we can chat. So it's there. Okay. So buy support, sell at resistance on the 4-hour. So that's the main part of the strategy is buy at support, sell at resistance. And if you go into the system, you'll see how that works. But the strategy is the following. And this is where it becomes interesting, all right? It's not about the system. It's not about the lines. That's a 50-50 game. Even if you know nothing about charts, you can pick a price and go buy it or sell it. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just that when you do, you have to have a plan in place. So your business plan is this. You don't have to write it down. Just remember this. If you have $100,000 in the account, I'm just using it as a round figure. You don't necessarily have to have that. But if you've got $10,000 in the account, that $100,000 is a nice round figure because I understand that amount. And you want to take a trade. Every single trade that you take should have $1,000 stop loss, not more. Okay, maximum $1,000 stop loss. And the reason for that in the strategy is you can take 10 trades with $1,000 stop loss, and if you lose all 10, you lose $10,000, which is 10% of your account. But in all probability, if you flipped a coin, 5 times you would win, 5 times you would lose. But if I said to you, for every one you lose 1, and for every one you win, I'll give you 2. You take that bet all day long because you're winning. That's how it works here. Same thing, same strategy. All you're going to do is say, I've got $1,000 risk on all of my trades. And I should win half of them, and maybe lose half of them. The idea is to try and make $2,000 on the profit and lose $1,000 on the loss. And that's as simple as the system gets. Make more on your wins, lose less on your losses. Now, what you'll find is in trades is you might move your stop loss up to cost. You might even move it into a profit when your trade is going, because you don't just take profit when it gets there. You want to make as much as possible. In fact, if I can make $4,000 on this trade, I will. And the only way to do that is to keep your stop loss moving up behind it. And what you'll find is in many cases, it happens all day long, every day. It comes back, takes out your stop loss, and you sit with a $500 profit. And you had $1,000 stop loss. So you're going to see all these little profits, all these mishmash of little profits and losses in amongst your trading. You might take smaller losses as well. When you see something's invalid, you might get out early. And then you're going to have a win rate of 70 or 80% and think you're a genius because you've got this amazing win rate. And you'll hear, the guys that know me will hear, I've said it 100 times. If you tell me about your win rate, I'm not interested, because a win rate is meaningless. It means nothing. Only thing that means anything is you're making a profit. And making a profit has got nothing to do with the win rate. What it's got to do with is the winners that made good money. Every once in a while, the winner comes along and it makes you that big money. That's where your profit lies. There was a company out there, I think that was the Turtle Traders. Not sure if it was them. I mean, their win rate was probably 20%. But when they won big. Big wins. And their losses were all small. So they were making huge sums of money. And that's what people don't understand. You don't need a 70% win rate. You need big profits. You need the profits to run. And yes, you can take small profit. For example, this trade here, I could close this now, take the $300, go home. Yay, good day. I haven't really achieved anything. I've added to my win rate, and I look good, and I can boast to my friends. but I haven't really achieved anything. If I see the trade's going wrong, yeah, okay, let's take the money and go. But if the trade's not going wrong, don't take the profit. Wait. Try and achieve that big profit up there. That's what the strategy is. The strategy is to make more money on your wins and lose less on your losses. Lose as little as you can on your losses and make as much as you can on the wins. And in the long run, that's where it'll take you. Now, in the beginning, for example, with this funded trader account that we opened, you will see losses. You'll see, no, not losses, but yeah, losses. You'll see you're down a bit and it's not happening and you'll just get impatient. You'll think, when am I ever going to make any money? This funded trader account over here is doing nothing and it's down and it's supposed to be $25,000. How am I ever going to make money? In the long run, the big trade will come along and it'll make you the money. And I'm proving to you guys with the funded trader account that it can be done. If you guys want one of these, there's also a link in the description and the Discord's there and everything. These guys are offering a discount as well. So I do this just to show that it can be done. It's not impossible to do it. It's simply about making more on your winners and losing less on your losses. So now that's me explaining the strategy again. Kevin, I explained it over again and over again. Oh my goodness, Jet. RSI, stochastics, EMA, Bollinger Bands, VWAP. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, guys, nothing wrong with learning how to trade those things, by the way, because oddly enough, I know how to trade all those things, because over the years, whenever there's a system, I try and learn what it's about and how it's traded, so I can see how the other people are actually trading and what they're doing. You know, like VWAP is like a magnet and goes towards it, and I've proved to myself that that's not my trading system. It won't work for me. RSI, you know what? The RSI is a really good thing. You know, it's a relative strength index. It does tell you relative strength, but it's on your charts. It's another messy thing, and you don't need it. Okay, you just don't need it there. Stochastics, lovely product. You know, it can tell you when the market's overbought, oversold, when to buy, when to sell, lagging, of course. Don't need it there. Just don't need it. It's just going to confuse you. Moving averages, crossovers. That moving averages. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos where I've shown you guys that I'll use a moving average on an investment. If I'm buying a share, I just want to know that the 50-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average, telling me that it's a good buy. That's all. And things like that. So, Bollinger Bands are probably the worst. Those things, I tell you what. Oh, sorry, guys. There we go. These guys starting to chat to me again. It's a Scots group. Anyway, yeah, no. Bollinger Bands are probably one of the, I don't know, those things. No thanks. I did try them. And VWAP, yeah. Okay, thanks very much. So you got that. Yeah, okay. So you do sort of, there's a lot more to the strategy, obviously. There's the system, the lines, the squiggly lines. Go and watch a couple of the more recent videos where I do show you the support and resistance and how to draw the lines in on the day chart. I always use a line chart for the closing prices and that sort of thing, just so that you get a clear picture of how we trade the system on the computer. And I also use trend support and resistance. And I always tell people there's 3 ways that I trade. I trade with a trend and in structure. Okay, I trade in a range and staying flat, and it's bouncing between the support and resistance in the range. And then I also trade on overbought, oversold. And that doesn't mean I use an RSI and a stochastic to determine what the overbought and oversold amount is. I look at a chart and I see a lamp pole formation. Where did I see one this morning? There it is. Look at this US dollar, Canadian dollar. Who of you can tell me what that is? That's a lamp pole formation, right? Now, which one of you guys would take a long trade on this right now? I'm sure that somebody would take a long trade on it. It's absolutely, yeah, it is a good long trade, and lamp poles fall over. But I don't need a stochastic and I don't need an RSI to tell me that this is overbought. Now, how do you trade an overbought situation? You don't. What you do is you wait for it to turn around. You wait for it to break this structure down here, and then it'll follow you down. And that's where you make your money. Somebody asked me where in Cape Town I am. Martinez van Rensburg. Yes, I am in West Beach, close to the beach. Yeah, that's West Coast. So it's a nice area. I can walk to the shops. It's like living in town, man. It's absolutely amazing. Love it here. Absolutely love it. Been here 10 years now. Really cool. Yeah, I'll just keep explaining, Kevin. I'll just keep explaining over and over again. Like I said to you, there was one guy who said to me, you keep making the same stuff over and over again. Well, what do you want me to do? Change my system? The system is what it is. I can't change it, guys. It is what it is. So you're going to get the same old stuff all the time. I try and make it more interesting, you know. But yeah, it's pretty much, you keep hammering it in. You keep following it, you know. There is how many trades a day or a week? How many losing winning trades in a day? You're asking me a question that I can't answer because I don't have a limit to the amount of trades I'll take in a day. And whether I win or lose depends on the day. I look at my trades over a year. I look at my profitability over a year. How many trades I took, I don't even count them. I couldn't care. As long as I make about 20% at the end of the year, I'm all good. I'm fine. Daily, not interested on what I earn daily. Not interested in even monthly, weekly. Doesn't make sense to me because you get good months and bad months. As far as I'm concerned, rather look at it over a bigger picture. So I have an annual period, and over that period, I need to make a certain amount, and that's it. And if it's 20%, I'm good. I'm happy with that because the banks couldn't give me that. But if I make more than that, I'm happy. I've had years where I've made 100%, and that's great. And I've had shares that, you know, that's the thing. How many trades you take in a day? How much do you win or lose in a day? You know, I've had days where you'll take a trade like this on this product, and it will just shoot up. And on that day, you can say, phew, I made so much money. And then the next day, you make nothing. It just, you can't put a specific amount to it, a specific amount of trades on a specific day. Some days are dead. Some days you can't take any trades. Some days you can take 6 trades. Some days you can take 10 trades. Sometimes you can take 1 trade. You know, you only take a trade when it comes to you, when it's available. You don't force trades. So that you don't say, I need to take 5 trades a day, so I must take 5 trades. Don't do that. That you're just going to force yourself to take bad trades. So yeah, this guy is overbought most likely. If I was to put a stochastic or an RSI in here, it'll probably show that it is overbought. But it's a good long trade because it's above the resistance. It's broken through the resistance. If it comes back and tests it, it could probably go long and carry on. But it is overbought. And the only way to trade it is if it breaks structure down here. So it's got to break down, break the structure, and then you can go short. Okay. Yeah, Doug, you would let it pull back? No, you know, you could consider a long if it came back into this, what is now support, because it was resistance that it's broken through, and then pulled out again. You could consider a long, but it is overbought. So I would wait for a short when it breaks structure now because it's gone so high. You could say, I'm looking at this as I've missed the trade. If I was in this trade, I would stay in this trade because it's a nice trade. I would stay in this trade and I'll just bring my stop loss up close. But as far as getting into it now, I'd look at it and say it's gone so far. I'd need some more confirmation. I need it to come back and retest and start going up again. And I'd actually prefer to wait for this is the third way I trade is on an overbought oversold situation. So I'd rather wait for it to turn around and start breaking structure and come down the other way, because the market does that. It runs hard and then it turns around and comes back, and it has to at some stage turn around and actually start coming back. So Kevin, yeah, it might be short, but it's not short, it's long. This has fooled so many people, as you can see, into a false sense of security, thinking, oh, it's going short now, I'll take a short. And then it keeps on going long, because that's what it does. When it's on a run, it's on a run. And this is orders being taken, and it's going and going and going, and people are buying like crazy trying to get into it. But I do feel it's a bit late, and I'd rather wait for it to come back and retest before I would take a long, or preferably just wait for it to break structure and take the short. You can, Jed. You said, would you ever just jump into the breakout and then let the trade run due to the upward trend line? You most certainly could do that. My concern with this breakout is it's just so straight, and lamp pole formations, let me be perfectly honest with you, lamp pole formations scare me, because what lamp poles do is they fall over, and when they fall over, they fall hard. So I don't like it when it does this. I prefer it if it sort of works its way up, like the US 500, for example. This sort of works its way up, and then it breaks through, and that's a nice one, and it's like running along. This is a nice long trade. This for me is like comfortable. I like that. But when I see like something like this, if I was in the trade, I would most certainly stay with it. It's a lovely trade. It's going like mad. But like I say, I'd be a little bit nervous about taking it as a fresh trade. It's not a great fresh trade. Look at the oil, guys. Oh, there she's falling back into this. Okay. Double top. There's your double top. Looks like we might get a short trade here. Let me just wait for confirmation. We'll see. Unfortunately, gold has fallen back again. That's life. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Okay, so the question here, any thoughts on instruments moving in sync? For example, gold and oil moving in sync. Both have up move, but when they start to come out of sync, it would show that the market conditions are changing, etc. Let's be very careful of this, because gold and oil are moving in sync because of dollar. Because of a dollar. Dollar's moving them in sync. Okay? It's moving them in the same direction because of the dollar. But oil doesn't move in sync with gold. Generally, it moves in sync with a dollar. So what's affecting them today is the movement of the dollar and the news and maybe the jobs and the CPI and all that. But in general, Brent is moved by the monopoly that sits together and decides what the oil price should be today, or how many barrels of oil we should keep back and not sell, or if we have geopolitics in the area and a bit of fighting and whatnot, can affect the oil price in the Middle East. So, yes, they're moving in sync now because nothing's happening to affect oil as such on its own. But if oil is affected on its own merits, it will move in a completely different direction to gold. Gold is more of a safe haven buy. So when the world is seeing a bit of pain, people will buy gold, but they won't buy oil. Whereas where oil is affected by what the supply level is of oil, and oil might become expensive because it might not be available, that sort of thing. So in sync movers, it depends, and it's very general. In sync movers would be a euro US dollar, a Great British pound US dollar. Those will probably move in sync. Today they're moving in sync because of the US dollar, but they also tend to be very close to each other because they're both very close to each other in Europe. So there's no point in buying both of those going the same way, because if you lose, you'll lose both, and if you win, you'll win both. So if you're going to buy one of those and then buy something else like a US dollar CAD or something like that, So, yeah, that's geopolitics, Kevin. That's why I say it's going to affect it that way. Okay, so more an example. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on similar, like you mentioned about dollar and gold. Thanks. Yeah, so Larissa, if you look at it, like I said now, euro, US dollar, and British pound, US dollar, they will move in sync, and they'll always move in sync. Mainly because, not because of the US dollar, as well as because of the euro and the Great British Pound, like I said, are in the same vicinity, and they tend to just move in sync. Don't trade both. Trade one of the products, whichever one is showing you the way to go on the day. Because if you trade both, you could lose both or win both, but it's not going to do you good. It's not going to work for you. That's the main thing there. Open up the chart to show support and resistance. I think somebody asked, could you open up the chart so we can see support and resistance? So for example, let's have a look here. Okay, there's your chart, there's your resistance, there's your support. It's taken from the day level. Okay, so the daily level. Okay, there's your daily level. It's not taken from the highs and the lows. It's taken from the closing prices. So there's a resistance. It's hit there, it's hit there, it's hit there, it's hit there. That's your resistance. There's your support. It's hit support, support, and it's gone through the support now and broken through. Actually, no, this wasn't. This was your, I'll have a look now, but I think it was a supply demand level. Doesn't matter, but it is acting as a support as well. And then your main support down here, where you can see the prices come down, come down, come down, come down, hit support, hit support. That's a major support level at the bottom on the day level, taken from the line charts because it's working on closing prices. You could also lift it a bit to these levels here and say those are your closing prices, but most of them are hitting a bit lower down on this level here. So that's your resistance and that's your support. The reason there's a very small resistance up here is because it's kind of almost at major highs, which haven't been around for quite a while. You can see there's also a trend support running through here and a trend resistance running along here as well. Back to the candle charts, back to the 4-hour charts. If you want to trade 1 hour, you can as well. Same thing. Then it picks up those levels for you over there. Let's just open it up there. So there's your main support. There's your main resistance. There is another support level in there. So that is a support level that I drew in. That's fine. But probably just for me to see at the time where it was going, but it's broken through that now. So it's short and it's heading down to the next support level. So I hope that helps you a little bit there. I just like to have these open so I can see what the price is actually doing. And it looks like my DAX is taking a bit of a knock there. That's okay. It'll sort of come down and carry on going up, hopefully. And gold is going back up. And the Aussie dollar, US dollar is doing nothing to make me feel better. Okay, great. And the Nikkei is also going down. Okay, so partial take profits. I mean, more as an example. Any thoughts on partial take profits, for example, leaving runners, etc.? I ask this because many use partial take profits and have runners, but also some don't. Just close the whole position at once. Go all in, move your stop loss, and take the money. So Kokoro's learned something. Well done. Well done. I'm so glad to see someone that's on our community picking that up. Loris, you new here, and you're going to figure out that I'm completely different to all these other guys that tell you can make $1 million in a day. So the one thing that I'm going to tell you right now is partial profits are not the thing to do. So for example, this comes off here, goes up, and I take a partial profit here because I'm scared it's going to come down. I'm defeating my strategy completely. I'm saying that I'm not confident that this is going to go up, so I'm going to get out of the trade. No, that's not how you work. The idea is to make more profit. If you want to take things off the table, take them off the table when you're losing, right? So lose less. So I've done that a number of times. For example, this gold trade, if I felt that I was losing too much, I'd reduce the trade to the stop loss and say I'd rather lose less. Okay. But for the winning side, I'll rather add to the trade. I'll rather, if the trade's gone up into profit and it's going well and the trade's really in a profit, don't take half your profits, leave them, add more if you can. Take your stop loss, move it up into cost, move it up into profit. Then you're not losing anything. And then follow those profits up. And if you see a chance to add more to the trade, add more. Because you know what I want to do with this trade? I initially want to make $2,000 if I can. I might lose, who knows? But I'd really like to make 4,000 if I can. That would be great. So I'll just move the stop loss up. I won't take profit. I won't take half my profits. If I'm going to take profits here, I'll close the trade. If I see this trade is gone, I'll close it. Gone, walk away. But to take half my profits, no. No, add to the trade, add more, or move your stop loss, or go for the big profit, go for the big one. Don't take profits off the table, because that's what people tend to do in trading, is they tend to play with the profit side of the trade, and it's easy to take the profits, and you know, we have more fear of losing our profit than we actually have of losing our money. Amazing thing is, when we go into loss, we'll add to the loss. For example, I'm losing on the gold trade right now. So at this moment, I mean, I'm looking at a bigger picture, obviously. I'm not looking at this next 5 minutes or whatever. I'm looking at over time. But most people will look at this and say, I'm losing right now. How can I get that money back? And they'll be at a loss here. And then they'll double up on this trade so that they can average down and hopefully get more money. So they're quite happy to do that, quite happy to take that loss, double the loss, and this thing keeps on going down, and then you lose double. Rather than when you're in a win and you see it going up and you think, oh, you know what, I want to add to this trade now. I'll actually put some more money in and make it bigger. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to take off the trade off. Everybody wants to take the money out and run. And that's what I see a lot. And you're going the wrong way with the whole thing. You want to be going the other way. You want to be going up. So why don't you do the opposite? Like, for example, on this trade where you're losing, say, I'm losing, let me take half the trade off my loss and lose less and just take a small loss. And then on my winning trade, let me make more on my winning trade and add to my winning trade and make money there. Because bet on the winners, not on the losers. A good analogy to for example, is if you have a horse race and the horse in the front that's winning, you've got a bet on it, and you're 100 meters away from the finishing line, and they say to you, you can double your bet on that horse. It's a good bet to take. I'd take that bet. But if you've got the horse that's coming fifth, and you're 100 meters away from the finishing line, and they say you can add $100 to your bet, or you can double your bet on that horse, ain't no one taking that bet. So that's just my analogy on it. Would you take a trade with 10 lots on gold at price 6.1, and would you go for profit target at 6.150, and then when you already in? No, I wouldn't. You see, if I get to the 61.50, if I get to the target, right? So, for example, if I get to the target here, no, I don't take anything off. No. What I do when I get to the target, you'll be shocked what I do. I move the target up. I move my stop loss up to close to the target, and I move my target up. That's what I do. Often the price will come back and take out my stop loss, and I'll make target. That's fine. But if it carries on going up, for example, like this US dollar CAD, then wow, it just keeps on going up, and you just keep moving your stop loss up behind it. Now, if you've taken half your money off, let's say you got into this trade and you took half your money off here. Okay, so you've taken half your money off. So you've lost all that money all the way up there. What I would have done, I would have moved my stop loss up in here behind it. So if it comes down, I still make my money if that was my target. But my stop loss is here now. Now it carries on going. Then I just keep moving my stop loss up behind it until eventually it takes my stop loss out. But I'll make all that money at my full trade. In fact, maybe I add to the trade and make even more because it looks like a great trade. So that's the difference. That's how we work with it. So like on a losing trade like this, I'm actually more nervous with it. I'm sort of like looking at it and thinking, ooh, should I take half the money off, or should I leave it or whatever? That, a losing trade is not a good thing for me. Now it's starting to come back into a winning trade. It's starting to go the right way. So I'm not going to take anything off that trade. I'm happy to let it run. The DAX does make you a bit nervous when it gives you these red candles, but if you look at the bigger picture, it's still in the structure. It's still going in the right direction. So it's not failing completely, and it might still go the way we want it to and make target. But when it gets to target, no, Loris, I'm not going to take half my profits. No, I'm going to put my stop loss behind it. If it takes my stop loss out in profit, so be it. And if it runs into profit further, then I'm chuffed and happy. That's how we do it. So Kokoro, you got it right there. That's 100%. Go all in, move your stop loss, smile, and take the money. That's yeah. Just you leave it as a runner, and you don't take off the profits off. Because if you take off the profits off, you're just defeating the object at the end of the day. It's not gonna make you the money. So guys, we've been on for quite a long time. It's been quite a good show, and we've had quite a nice day actually, and it's been fun. I learned this valuable lesson last week. I was up in oil and never moved my stop loss and ended up losing it all. Yeah, that happens. But like, for example, now this DAX could turn against me and I haven't moved my stop loss, but it's too early to move it. This trade hasn't really done much yet. So we're waiting for this to do something. This could lose it. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's going to happen. Like I said, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. You're not going to lose them all. You shouldn't lose them all, at the end of the day. When you are trading in Forex alone, would you just take one trade or split it when you're more available positions when you enter? No. If there's a trade available, I take it. I won't just take one trade. If there's only one trade, I'll take one trade. But if there's more than one trade, I'll take more than one trade. At the moment, I'm only in the one trade. I haven't bothered with anything else. But yeah, this was a trade I was looking at this morning. The possibility of taking a ZAR trade. It's completely different to the Australian dollar trade. I would take trades like that. Maybe Canadian dollar, maybe Euro, Great British Pound. It's something different to the US dollar, stuff like that. US dollar, Japanese yen, I've done a few of those because those can also have an effect on, like the Japanese yen can have a totally different effect to the euro, just out of interest. So yeah, no, I'll take other trades, obviously, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, there is only a stop lesson. Yeah, we learn from our mistakes. We learn, but the thing is to understand and be patient. That there'll always be that time when you make that profit, and if you think it doesn't happen, just look at runs like this, where you would have made that profit. Okay, and if that's not good enough, just look at this US dollar CAD trade that we were looking at earlier. If you'd got into this trade, which unfortunately we didn't, but if we had, it would have taken us all the way up there. And those are the trades that you're looking for. When you miss them, I actually feel sad when you miss these trades, because those are the trades that you're waiting for. Those are the ones that are going to make you the money. These ones that mess around like this are just irritating and annoying. Yeah. So yeah, no, if you learn from the mistake, it's perfect. For example, if this goes up to even $800 in profit, I'll definitely move the stop loss up into cost. And if I get taken out, it's a free trade. I'd rather have a free trade and not make the profit than take a big loss. Let's be honest, because you've got to make those losses up, and that's always tricky. So guys, I'm gonna head on my way now. It's been quite a long video. I don't know if anyone's gonna ever rewatch such a long video, but tomorrow I've got another video coming out as usual, and then on the weekend we'll do the rundown for the week, and then every morning, you guys, most of you guys are members, so you'll get your daily rundown on the markets as to what's happening and what's not happening and all the rest of it as usual. So guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Time for me to go and probably feed my dogs. It's good to have a couple of new guys here. I'm loving it. I'm loving seeing you guys around, and I'm glad that there's people out there that are interested in hearing the reality of trading, rather than all the stories that you're just going to make so much money out of nothing. And like I said, I was watching all these scalpers and but winning every trade and that sort of thing. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. I still can't get over that. So guys, thank you so much, Jet. Welcome. Thanks. And Goro, pleasure. And it's been good having you guys. So what time Tuesday do we reckon? Jet, on Tuesdays I do the sort of Euro opening. So usually close to my time is GMT +2. It's South African time. So it's around about 9:30 in the morning. For you guys, I'm not sure, and depends where you are in the world. And in South Africa, the US session normally about 3 in the afternoon. Today I did 2:30 or 2:20 because of that CPI. So yeah, Kevin, it depends where Jed is. I don't know what area he's from. So yeah, but Tuesday for us is in the morning. For the guys that are in Scotland, it's in the morning. For the guys that are in Europe, it's in the morning. And for the guys in South Africa, it's in the morning area. And the Thursday's in the afternoon. But for the US guys, they kind of tend to miss the Tuesday because it's in the morning for us. And the Thursday one they get because it's in the morning for them. Okay. And if you're trading crypto at the same time, just watch your Bitcoin here going down, guys. It's I'll tell you what I am seeing on crypto just before I go is a head and shoulders developing. So just be careful of that, guys. Just be careful if you're trading the crypto. Good. Okay. So thanks a lot. Till next time, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. All the best. Have a good one. Have a great end to the trading week. Remember, don't keep your trades over the weekend if you can help it, because those are the bad ones.